This is the Seahawkers Podcast, episode 433. I'm Brandon Schultz of the Military Seahawkers, and I am joined by my good buddy and a Montana Seahawker, Adam Emmert.
It's been a minute since we've done a flagship show, but we owe it to the people, and it was time to do it, even though I think we're both kind of in the boat of like, hey, man, we've kind of talked about all the things in, the shorter format shows that we've been putting out for you guys, but you know what? Let's get it done. Let's do it. We're going to dive into some draft pick stuff today. And then I don't know what else. We'll just figure it out from there. We'll spitball it.
It's post-draft season, which is one of my favorite times because we get into our actual draft calls with the players. And you know how much I love hearing these young guys get the call from John Schneider, the head coach, and just to hear how they react. Because there is just a variety of reactions of guys who, some are pissed because they got selected a lot later than they thought they would. Some are excited. And, some aren't even by their phone or are in areas that maybe don't get service. And so you end up with a variety of calls. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. And yeah, you mentioned it, man. We kind of have been doing the Thursday Night Live shows leading up to this. We've been doing our shorter format things. So here we are getting back to our usual long form audio only experience for some people. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe some people don't like it, but this is what we do.
Well, it's definitely better for most people just not having to see my face for the most part. But with that said, I do feel like the shorter format stuff has fit us better throughout the off season here this time, because it gets a little tough to do 2 hours throughout the off season. Not that, I'm complaining or anything, just more like, hey, we got 20 to 45 minutes of real content and we can kind of, leave the rest. But, we still got to stick with it. And so here we go. And I know you are fired up for these draft calls, Brandon. Are we starting at the top? Are we starting with Murphy?
Let's start with Murphy because,
okay. Well, I have one question before you do.
Okay.
I have one question, very serious question. If I put the over-unders for at 16.5 for Byron Murphy's draft call, what are you taking?
I would take the under, but I think there's a different word that might hit the over.
Oh, okay.
Hello?
Hey, is this Byron?
Yes, sir.
Byron, this is John Schneider with the Seattle Seahawks. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great.
Good, man. Hey, we don't care what your agent says about you, man. We think you're a hell of a football player. We're going to select you right here, okay, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, man. Come be a Seahawk, man. Hey, here's our head coach. Here's our head coach, Mike McDonald, okay?
Yes, sir.
Oh, congratulations. Can't wait to see you, bud.
I can't wait either, Coach. Can't wait to see you too, Coach.
Byron.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. Congratulations, brother.
Thank you.
Get over Byron, man. The place is going crazy, brother. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. You excited?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm ready to get to work away.
Hey, somebody told me this is your favorite team.
Man, Seattle was my favorite team growing up.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. This is great, bro. Hey, where are you at right now? Are you with your family?
Yeah, I'm with my family right now.
That's great, man. That's great. Well, hey, I'm gonna shoot it over to our coordinator for you, bro. But hey, congratulations, man. Just so freaking happy for you. I'm so excited. Can't wait for you to get here. And, man, celebrate with your family, man. Cherish this, man. It's a special moment. You should be really proud of yourself, brother. That's great. You're a freaking Seahawk, bro. How about that?
Yes, sir. That's crazy, man.
I can't wait to see you, man. We'll have a great time when you get up here, all right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, here's our defensive coordinator, Adam Dirty. Here you go.
What up, Byron?
What's up, Coach?
What's up, bro? I'm super happy for you, bro. The freaking Seahawks. Enjoy this one, yeah?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Enjoy this day. Enjoy your family. And when we get together, you'll get to work, bro. I'm super happy for you. I'm super excited for you to be here.
Good job, everybody.
Okay, I'll pass you over to our D-line coach, Justin Hines. Hold on.
Okay.
So there you are, first round pick, defensive tackle Byron Murphy out of Texas. I think we hit the over on yes sirs.
Apparently the just pop out when he gets stuck in front of a camera, because the press conferences have been chock full of them. But, excited for the kid. They were obviously excited for the pick. This seemed like their guy all the way.
One of the things I noticed too, and you'll hear it through some of these draft calls, is they're doing things a little bit differently. In the past, I think John Schneider was the guy who made all the phone calls and then passed it over to the coach. And this year they got area scouts involved. They got some of the staff involved. And I don't know if you picked up on that at all. Maybe just me, because I'm the one who, nerds out on these things every year.
I haven't listened to any of these yet, so I guess I didn't have any preconceived notions about that. But quick observation there. Mike is not super interested in doing draft calls. Not into it. So maybe that's why they brought in all the other people to talk on the phone. Cause he's like, yeah, I'll just talk to them when they get here about football. Okay. Like, can we just do that?
Well, we will hear Coach Mike on each one of these. So buckle up and prepare for another check in on word usage as we hear multiple calls from head coach Mike Macdonald. One other thing, though, I wanted to talk about, because it also interests me. There's two things right after the draft. We get the draft calls and we get the players picking their number. And it's always interesting to me to see which guys pick which number, which Seahawk wore that number last. And I had a little question for you. Maybe we could throw it out there. Could they end up becoming the greatest Seahawk to wear that number? Like, do they have a path? And with Byron Murphy, for example, to kick things off, last worn by Brian Monet, not all that long ago. If we're to look at the most successful Seahawk to wear number 91, it's Chris Clemens.
Oh,
not LJ Collier. But Chris Clemens, he was only 4 years in Seattle, but easily the most successful of his 11-year career were in the Seahawks uniform. 76 quarterback hits, 38 sacks over 4 seasons. Byron Murphy, can he reach the Chris Clemens level in 4 years?
Oh, absolutely. He's got an excellent chance for that. I'd say he has an 80% chance of displacing Chris Clemens as the greatest Seahawk to ever wear 91. His skill set is awesome, man. And you pair that with somebody like Mike Macdonald, who just the defensive guru that he is. And I think there's nothing but the sky as the limit for him. It's going to be really, really exciting. I was so fired up for this pick. A big boy in the middle with speed and power and just plays with great leverage. I wanted this so bad last year. It hurt. And to get it this year, it felt really good.
This was definitely an Adam Emmert style draft. I can't remember a draft that was so heavy in the trenches that I think you could get excited about.
With significant picks, right? With your top 2 picks, obviously.
Not like, we'll wait until the 5th, 4th round, and then we'll start going heavy in the trenches.
Right, exactly. That sort of thing was infuriating for years. And we'll see if this kind of continues going forward or if it just happened to play out that way this year. But I really hope that this draft class is uber successful, because you're right. This is exactly what I want. This is exactly how I want them to operate. And I do think this has a great potential to be super successful for the team. Starting with Byron Murphy, obviously, but then moving on to the 3rd round pick, in Haynes. If you're not fired up about that pick, then you just don't enjoy big guys.
Offensive lineman Christian Haynes, someone that E.J. Snyder described as not just a guard's guard, but a right guard. So we could be seeing him taking that place at right guard to start the season. Let's hope so. Here's his draft call.
You hear that, Christian?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, brother. Congratulations, man. You're a Hawk, bro.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Who are you with right now?
This is my own family and friends.
Oh, that's great, man. I can't wait to see you. Man. We'll get you up here soon. But you're a Hawk, brother. About to go to work, my friend.
Yes, sir. I'm ready to work.
Excited?
Yes, sir.
Heck yeah, man. You should be. Celebrate, bro. That's going to be awesome,
man.
Yes, sir. Well, we're fired up. You hear everybody in the background here, right?
Yes, sir.
That's great, man. That's awesome. We'll come in here and we'll go smash some people. That sound good?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's what you do best, right?
Yep.
Okay. That's awesome. Hey, I'm going to give you to our office coordinator, okay, brother?
Yes, sir.
All right. Congrats, man. Here's Ryan Grubb.
Congrats, Christian. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Hey, dreams come true, right?
Yes, sir.
I love your film. Can't wait for you to get up here, man. I think you got the right style of play. You're going to love being in, all right?
Yes, sir. Ready to go work, Coach.
All right, man. I'm gonna put you over to Coach Huff.
All right, brother count. It's getting up there with Coach Mike.
Yeah, maybe that's something that's rubbed off on him from John Schneider early on, because he's not natural at this. Like, it's just chit chat. I don't imagine Mike McDonald is a big chit chatter, just sitting down and shooting the crap.
And I suppose it's one of those things too, that having probably not done a whole lot of these before, what are you really going to talk about in these quick few moments? Because there's a definite tempo to these. And it's part of the reason why we kind of got away from playing a lot of these, because it's Schneider talks, passes off to coach, passes off to coordinator on whatever side, and then passes off to position coach. And I cut that part right out because it's all the same thing. How you doing? Where are you watching it from? Are you excited? Let's go. You're a Seahawk.
I think they need to start sprinkling in some new stuff in there. Be like, hey, man, we're fired up to have you here, Christian. Just can't wait to get you in and work, because we got to get your hands from playing, a little too wide and get them right up into people's chests. You're into getting into people's chests, right? Like, let's do that. Like, give the fans a little something of like, hey, we love this guy, and here are some of the things that we think that he can improve on. That'd be cool.
We need to introduce, like, they have to do a compliment sandwich for every draft pick. Like, we think you're great at this. Here's one thing to work on. And man, oh man, you are going to be potentially the greatest player to ever wear the number 64 in Christian Haynes, because you got a little bit of work to do, buddy. Ron Essink, J.R. Sweezy, the two greatest Seahawks to wear the number 64. It's not a hurdle that you can't overcome. J.R. Sweezy playing from 2012 to 2018. Ron Essink, 1980 to 1985, maybe a name that Seahawks fans aren't so familiar with. And obviously, I think that he can become better than Dakota Shepley, who was the last Seahawk to really wear the number with and actually make it on the field.
Look, there's one thing that Christian Haynes is going to have a hard time doing in terms of the best at being 64, and that's having a creepier mugshot for the primetime games when they announce their names, because Sweezy's was great, man.
I don't know if there's any Seahawk who will be able to eclipse the creepiness factor of J.R. Sweezy's mugshot.
It was awesome. It matched his style of play too. I love Sweezy, man, when he was here.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the heck out of his play.
I saw that he was actually, I think he did some social media post. I think it was for Christian Haynes, like a welcome to the team type thing, where they get former Seahawks to hop on and send a message to some of the new draft picks. It was cool to see J.R. Sweezy, because, I think of his most significant years in the NFL were in Seattle, and it's where he won a chip. And so I feel like now that he's kind of in that post career, I think he's back to identifying as like, yeah, I'm a Seahawk.
One of the reasons I'm so fired up about this pick, Brandon, is not just because he's a guard, but he's a guard who plays guard. I like that a lot. Now, EJ says he's a right guard who's only a right guard. I mean, did he ever see him try left guard?
No, because he's only ever played right guard.
Then who's to say that he can't? Like, that's one of those things where I don't know that we know. I don't know that anybody knows to this point. But we've seen John, and you heard him when he was talking about Dame Lou being like, well, he just got to deal with the Panthers. So we just couldn't match. He's made it abundantly clear he does not want to pay guards. Just not interested. Just doesn't feel like that's a place of any sort of value that he should be competitive in the marketplace there. So if you're going to do that, then you got to pick dudes in the draft and, get them on that cheap rookie deal and have them be good out of the box. And that's been a little difficult for the Seahawks, because how many years have we been like, just draft a guard who plays guard, just please. And they finally did. And I feel like this is a step in the right direction for John. It's very exciting.
So many times the guys who end up playing guard are guys who played tackle in college, and they can't really quite compete with that athleticism off the edge. And so they have to move into guard. And because, your most athletic guys are going to end up playing tackle at the college level. But here's a guy who played really well at guard his entire college career and was actually, for some scouts, their number one guard who actually played guard.
Right. In there's a couple picks in this draft. I think Murphy's even in this camp where you're like, holy smokes, they got that guy where?
Yeah.
That was it. That's where it was for Christian Haynes for me. So that was super exciting. And man, just these 2 top draft picks, plug them in, and suddenly I feel awesome about the defensive line. And then you're looking at the offensive line, and I believe in Olu. Then now you've got Haynes. I feel like that's a day one plug and play kind of starter. I think he's going to be in there. Now we're worrying about his one guard position. Otherwise, the line is set with guys that you feel comfortable with. That's starting to feel pretty good. And then also to kind of see his style. I mean, he's a pancake maker, man. He's a bona fide breakfast cook. And the idea that they wanted somebody that was out nasty and physical, that makes me feel a little better about the potential Grub offense going forward.
It makes you feel as though, let's say everything's good health-wise with Abe Lucas, and then
it will be.
And then it made me feel better that they didn't go like a tackle guard convert then, because if Murphy were on the board and they would have gone with one of those guys who could play tackle but could also play guard, that would have concerned me about Abe Lucas's health if they did that in the first round, because then you're drafting for need and you're sending a message that, hey, this is a need because he might have to play tackle.
Right. And honestly, if they would have picked one of those converts again, where they picked Haynes, same story, right? You'd be going, oh, geez, like, is this a little Abe insurance here? But it's not. This is a guard who plays guard, and Abe is going to be good. He's going to be right, and he's going to be back to being my favorite Seahawk. Absolutely. I want to speak the Abe Lucas good juju into existence, man.
The only thing I'm a little bit disappointed with the Haynes pick is they didn't continue this trend of guys who grew up as Seahawks fans. Like, how cool would have that been if you just picked guys who were Seahawks fans? We're in this era now. You heard it from Murphy, him talking about the Legion of Boom and the guys that he watched and making us feel old because we've been a fan of this team for 10 years. And we forget that a dude like Byron Murphy was 11 years old when we started the show.
Absolutely. That makes me feel very odd. Another thing that's been making me feel a little weird was just kind of the feel now of watching Mike talk a bunch and being like, I'm older than that guy. This is the first time in my life the head coach has been younger than me. I'm not sure I'm super comfortable with it. It's a little weird, but you said this trend of Seahawks fans, like, all right, I thought I had spelled this out before for you. Once is a coincidence, twice is a trend.
Oh,
and then we go from there. So I don't know. This is one guy who's a Seahawks fan. I don't think that's a trend.
Okay. Well, yeah, we didn't quite hit the trend level. I wanted it to hit the trend level. It didn't, because you could have had a perfect draft, but that's fine. I'm happy with the talent over the players' fandom, but they probably would have blown it with the next pick anyway by calling up Tyrese Knight. I guess I don't know if Tyrese Knight is a Seahawks fan or not, because we didn't actually get to hear him on the phone. We just got to hear people talking to him because they couldn't get him on the actual draft phone.
Call his agent, please.
I got him right now.
Is this Tyrese? Hey, this is the first. How you doing, Tyrese? It's John Schneider with the Seahawks. How's it going, bud? You ready to fly back up to Seattle, man? Yo. Hello. Tyrese, are you there? Yeah. Hey, it's John Schneider with the Seahawks, buddy. Can you hear me? Okay, we're gonna select right here at 118. Okay. Yeah, you gotta be picking up your phone, homie. Hey, here's our head coach, Mike McDonald. All right, congratulations, man.
Tyrese, you there? This guy's like a secret agent. There he is. Tyrese. Hey, you're a hard man to get a hold of, brother. Congrats, brother. Well, you're coming back up here. You good with that?
Go. Yeah.
Amen, brother. Hey, that's awesome, man. Hey, I'm happy for you, brother.
Yeah, I think we're going to
You had a great visit, and our coaches, everybody's excited, man. We just, we got a great vision for you, bro.
The fun thing about this one is it's like a choose your own adventure for how you want Tyrese Knight to sound.
Yeah, I picture him speaking in a whisper. And was he like in a bunker or something? Like, what phone rings like that? The do 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 like ring. Was he like in a different country?
Well, I think that's the Seahawks draft phone. So
why doesn't it ring normal?
I don't know. Maybe that was because the audio processor that I ran it through.
No, it's something wrong with their phone. And that's why Tyrese couldn't hear him. Look, this is all their fault. They're sitting there throwing him under the bus. Like that's a them problem, I think.
I picture Tyrese up in a cabin, like near where you live, because trying to get a hold of you on a cell phone is a similar kind of excursion for me.
Yeah, it's impossible. And so I have conflicting feelings on this. One, I highly respect it because I feel like he was hiding out in the woods doing something awesome. And then secondly, this doesn't seem to bode well for the most controversial pick of this entire draft, that the draft call went as poorly as it did.
I think there were people who suggested that he wasn't ready to take the call because he didn't think he was going to be drafted this early. Maybe there's something to that. I don't know. But I like to think that he was, up in the woods doing something awesome. Or maybe cell service is spotty. You know how you get into a spot where sometimes the phone doesn't ring. Maybe that's just what my kids tell me when I try and give them a call.
There's spottier service in Missoula than there is in places out here for some reason. I get into the cities and somehow the cell service gets worse in a lot of ways. I don't quite understand, but this is an interesting pick. I know a lot of people are panning it. It's been interesting to hear how many different, draft people have come out after him and been like, no, actually I had him in that range-ish.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite as overwhelmingly a reach as maybe some have thought.
Tyrese Knight, linebacker, picking number 48, which maybe you can respect that move because the greatest Seahawk to ever wear the number.
I just say path is clear
to 48. He does not have a difficult path. Jacob Hollister, in his short time with the Seahawks, may be the greatest Seahawk to wear the number 48.
Yep, that's probably right. Now, can he play a guitar at a frat party the same way that Jacob Hollister could?
If he can, he gets downgraded.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. He can be a 4-year special teamer and rack up 15 tackles, and I think he surpasses Jacob Hollister as the greatest number 48.
I think so. And look, I actually believe in Mike in terms of linebackers, and I think this will be one of those that we look at and kind of like when Wags was drafted or even Brooks, and everybody's like, really? It's like, both turned out to be pretty damn good.
Yeah. I don't know if I have an expectation level that he'll be even a starter necessarily, because being a 4th round linebacker, I was not really impressed with the guys that were drafted in the 4th round and later. There was one dude that went at the top of the 4th round that I kind of thought, that might be a guy who could come in and play some starting snaps. I didn't watch a lot of Tyrese Knight before the draft, and even afterward, going back and watching, and part of it too, like I talked about with EJ, I don't know if it was what they were asking of him, or because the style of linebacker that I look for is more of the recognize the play, go downhill and attack. And that's not what I saw necessarily out of Knight, but it was EJ who reminded me that, hey, sometimes coaches don't ask you to be that style of guy.
Yeah, maybe so. I guess we're going to find out. Kind of their first roll of the dice pick.
But again, one of the easier paths to become the greatest to wear that jersey number.
No, that's smart. Just keep the bar low for yourself. I like it.
AJ Barner, he's got a difficult path, though. Let's hear his draft call.
Hey, man, you ready to ball?
Let's get it.
All right, man. We're going to take you right here, man. You excited?
Let's do it, man. I'm ready to get out there. Let's go win the Super Bowl.
All right, cool, man. We're going to get you over here to Coach McDonald, man. A.J. Barner, fellas.
All right. What's up?
You can hear me, brother?
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's Mike, man. Congratulations.
Let's do it. You got another Michigan, man.
I know it. Hey, man, that's awesome. We're jacked, brother.
Yes, sir. I'm excited, too.
Yeah, okay, Coach Harbaugh here, too. Stoked for you, bro.
Let's go. Let's do it.
That's awesome, man. Hey, I'm excited for you, brother. I'm going to give it to Coach Grubb, our offensive coordinator, okay?
All right. Sounds good.
Congrats.
If I want to draft a replacement co-host, just based off the strength of the start of that call with the area scout, I want that dude on the podcast.
Yeah, I agree. He's probably more talented than me anyways. So now whether or not he can break down quarterbacks as well as me, I don't know. So that's, that might be something you're missing out on. But at the end of the day, I can understand why you'd be window shopping here and there. You can look, you just can't touch. Okay.
Are you ready to ball? I love the start of that.
Yeah.
Tight end AJ Barner, he's coming here to win some championships. He's wearing number 88, last worn by Greg Olson, so we can get that stench off of our memories, but has an uphill climb to surpass Jimmy Graham, who, despite only playing 3 years, holds almost all of the Seahawks tight end records. Somehow was still a disappointment among fans, and hopefully AJ Barner, he may not be that prolific catching passes. It's because of that he may have a hard time getting to that 2,048 yards, 18 touchdowns level.
I don't think this guy's going to be somebody who comes and lights it up as a primary pass catcher. That's for sure. If he can be as productive as, say, Disley in the passing game, that'd be great. If he can be that sort of blocker, even better. And that seems to be where his strengths are here. But I had kind of forgot about it. But Pete Metzelaars, he was there in 84 for a minute. I didn't realize that. He was pretty good, just not with the Seahawks when he was pretty good.
Right. Yeah, Pete Metzelaars. Atula Mealy, also kind of one of the tight ends from that Holmgren era that, over 4 years, he was pretty good. Like, if he could reach Atula Mealy level, I think that would be a successful 4th round draft pick.
Heck yeah, man. A contributor. That's all you're looking for in the middle of the draft. I mean, if you happen to get a starter or a star, I mean, all the better, but realistically speaking, that's what you're looking for.
And I'm not unconvinced that he can't be a reasonably good pass catcher either. Like, he was more prolific than Will Dissly was in college, and he had some solid games for Michigan.
Nobody's more prolific than Will Dissly. How dare you?
I mean, as a Seahawk, I don't know.
As anybody, as just a human.
Yeah, he has an uphill battle even just to become like Will Dissly wore 88 for 2 seasons before he switched to Doug Baldwin's old number. Past Will Dissly, and even we're talking here.
There we go.
Moving on to, let's see, the next defensive back. Seahawks go defensive back in the 5th round, and they pick up Nehemiah Pritchett. Here was his call.
What's up, sir? You excited, bro?
Yes, sir. Can't wait.
That's awesome, man. We are too. Got a level up in the building for you, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. You ever been up here before?
No, sir. It'll be my first time.
Yeah, we're going to rock your world, man. It's going to be awesome. About to cover some people, huh?
Oh, yeah.
All right. That's great, man. Well, we're fired up. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
You with your family?
Yes, sir.
That's great. They fired up?
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry.
They're right here beside.
As soon as you get on the flight, man, that's all that matters. Just coming
up. Yes,
sir. That's great. Hey, I'm going to give you to our defensive coordinator, okay, brother?
All right.
Nehemiah Pritchett selects the number 28 to wear for the Seahawks. Justin Coleman notably wore that number for several years. That would be, even to pass as a defensive back, that'll be tough for Pritchett. And I don't know if he would overcome Kurt Warner, who is the most prolific Seahawk to wear number 28.
No, I mean, Ugo was decent too in 28. Walter Thurman had a couple nice years.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys who played a little bit here. Michael Boulware, I mean, he's a heck of a player there for a minute. Look, I want next year one of the Seahawks draft picks to when they ask them, hey, man, you with your family? Be like, nah, I hate those guys. Why would I be with them? And just like let that marinate for a minute and be like, no, of course I'm with my family. What do you think?
Yeah, we need to spice up these draft calls. We need to coach some of these draft picks to have a little bit of fun with the phone call.
I think that would make it a lot more interesting. But no criers yet, Brandon. No criers. Did we get any criers?
I think you're going to be disappointed with criers this year.
Well, that's more for you, man. I know that you really enjoy the criers.
Well, I enjoy guys who are excited. And I think Satawa Laumea falls into that category of at least guys who are, because some of these, you don't even get a sense necessarily that they're happy. I'm sure part of it is nerves, talking to the head coach and the general manager, and, they're trying to make a good first impression. It's just hard to find a guy who's actually kind of relaxed and maybe sounds a little bit happy.
Okay, we got Satawa coming up here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, congratulations.
Yes, sir. I hope y'all ready because I'm ready.
Yeah, okay, we're going to pass you off to the head coach real quick. He wants to say hi, okay? Here's the head coach.
Sir.
Satawa,
What's up?
you excited?
Yes, sir. I'm excited.
All right, I can hear your voice, kind of.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, we're excited to get you up here. Congratulations, man. You with your family?
Yes, sir. I am with my family.
Okay, you got them on mute or something? I can't hear them.
No, I just got you. You're on my phone. You're on my ear right now. Do you want me to put it on speaker? Or what do you want?
Oh no, it's all good. Just I'm happy you're happy.
Yeah.
Man. It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great, man. Well, we got a heck of a spot for you, bro. We're excited to have you up here, man. I'll hand you over to our offensive coordinator. Does that sound good?
See, this started off promising with Satawa saying, "What's up?" And then I feel like the coach killed that one.
I don't know. That one might have been the most awkward of all of them. I mean, because we don't know exactly what it was Tyrese was saying, being like, I don't know, man, can't hear you, or whatever. That might have been more awkward. We don't know. But this one definitely felt maybe the most awkward for one of my more favorite picks of the draft, which is a little disappointing.
I think he wanted to be excited, and then it was just the line of questioning that may have thrown him off his game.
I think that might have been it. You're
it's
right.
Like, because Mike's like, "Where's your family?" It's like, "Well, they're here." It's just, you want me to put them on speaker?
Yeah, man. I don't know. Should they be yelling louder? Like, we celebrate how we celebrate. How do you celebrate, Mike?
That's true. Well, we did hear families celebrating in the background for a lot of these. And yeah, maybe not so much with Satawa.
Well, maybe this was one of those draft calls where they're all like, man, you should have got picked earlier. This is BS, because he's a big, strong mauler that comes from a program that has a history of putting out those sort of players. And again, makes me feel a little better about the whole Grubb offense situation when I'm watching some of these picks on the offensive line being, Abe Lucas type players that you can plug in next to him and really just be a road grading team. If that's the direction we're heading, holy smokes, man, I'm excited.
Because if he can come in and actually, I don't have super high hopes for Laken Tomlinson at left guard. I know he's an NFL vet, and I feel like that's like a nice safety net, like a dude who's been around a while and can, he can play guard okay. Hopefully he ends up being a backup. Hopefully a guy can come in. I don't have like super high hopes of a 6th round pick coming in and supplanting a veteran, but maybe there's an injury, or maybe that he just shows out in the preseason and they decide that, hey, we gotta make this move and have a really young offensive line. That kind of makes me nervous too in front of Geno, but maybe you make that move and these guys grow through the season, and then that way you can kind of build that seasoned offensive line, that young group together. But I'm also excited just based on style of play that Laumea can come in and be a contributor. Wearing number 63, he's got some competition.
See, it's funny. I don't look these up before you put it on there. I look them up after. I can't tell you 163 for the Seahawks off the top of my head.
Evan Brown wore it last year.
Okay.
And then before that, Mark Glowinski would be a name that a lot of people recognize. Austin Blythe wore it. So a lot of centers wore the number. But yeah, Mark Lewinsky, who actually went on to maybe have more success outside of the Seahawks. And of course, all Seahawks fans remember the greatest to wear number 63, Nick Bobout.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
From 1976 to 1979, he played, I'm guessing, he played tackle.
If you say so. We were both twinkles in people's eyes at that point and just coming onto the scene when he was wrapping up.
It's not a ton of competition there, so he could do it.
Yeah, there's 100% chance that he's going to do it. Now, you talk about Tomlinson, and I think you're 100% right. Great safety net. That sounds just fine. You know, guy that you can plug in there and be like, okay, we can function and be just fine. But I mean, shoot, was Bradford a 6th-round pick last year or a 4th?
4th.
Okay.
4th.
All right. I mean, he came in and played a bit and had some moments and, you know, looked okay. So a competition between, you know, Bradford and Lamea, and you got Tomlinson there. That gets a little exciting. I am rooting for Lamea. Like, I think that's my guy there, just because I don't know that Bradford's ever going to get to the pass protection level that he needs to be at. He's a little slow footed, and I'm not even sure that fits in a Grubb offense, considering that Haynes can really move. And it sounds like Lamea can do the same. So maybe he's not the exact fit that they are kind of hoping for.
Yeah. And in some ways, I suppose when you're transitioning from one offense to another and you're trying to find those types of skill sets that you want. And we heard from John Schneider, once you get later in the draft, you are picking for need, according to him. And so maybe this was an area where you're getting to where you need some guys and you need to start filling in at least some of the competition for these spots.
Yeah, I will never take John seriously with the BPA need situation ever again after this draft. Just won't do it.
It feels like they drafted for need most of the draft, right?
Yeah. And then also, too, like taking some swings later, you know, drafting 2 corners. Like, that's not necessarily for need unless you're thinking on a special teams level, which makes sense. But all the BPA worshipers, I think John had pulled the fleece over your head there, over your eyes. And he was always doing, you know, some mixture of best player in need, you know, going throughout each and every one of his drafts. This felt like more need heavy at the top and a little more like, some upside. We'll take a swing.
Well, that one guy that they are taking a swing with is defensive back DJ James. They go cornerback in the 5th, cornerback in the 6th. They take them both from the same team. Here's DJ James, and a familiar name who got to kick off the phone call in Nico Thorpe.
Yo, DJ, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Nico Thorpe, Seahawks.
Man, thank you for calling, man. I've been waiting on y'all. Thank you.
Yes, sir. How you feel about being a Seahawk, brother?
I can't wait. I'm ready to get to work.
Yes, sir. Can't wait to have you, bro. Congrats.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hold on. I'm finna introduce you to the head coach, Mike McDonald. Easy.
Okay.
We got quite a few more Tigers in here.
Yes, sir. Got a good one.
Hey, Case Scott, our DB coach, is going to be upset. He coached at Alabama. He'll be all right.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
Hey, that's awesome, man. Congrats.
Thank you so much.
Good? You hanging in there? It's a long day.
That's a long day. Thank you.
That's awesome, man. Well, now it's time to celebrate, and then we'll get you up here soon, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, brother. Hey, here's Case Scott. Congrats, man. Happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, DJ James coming in as cornerback. One of the things we got to hear from the interviews, because rookie minicamp's going on, and I can't believe it's like right after the draft. It seems like there should be some downtime, but they got these guys right in here. We heard DJ James coming in, and he's switching over, playing some nickel corner, which he hasn't played traditionally, but he's making it sound like he's enjoying it.
One of the things that I found out after the draft was Chris Sims in his rankings actually had him as the third DB overall in his rankings. And some other people having him much higher than where he was drafted, leading some to speculate maybe there was something else that, we're all not aware of, or maybe it's just his size, kind of a smaller statured guy or whatever. But my initial thought was these two corners, this was all about special teams, and cool, I'm on board. That's fine. But I'm starting to warm up to the idea that, a guy like DJ James can come in and earn some reps.
Well, we kind of had a similar question going into last season with the wealth that the Seahawks seemed to have of talent in the secondary, how they would find ways to deploy them. And I think now that we have head coach Mike Macdonald and we still have that wealth of talent in the secondary, it's changed a little bit at the safety spot, but it feels like another deep group. And you wonder, man, oh man, how is this now going to look? Are they going to find a place for DJ James to see the field a little bit more often? Are they going to be able to find a place for a lot of these guys? Who ends up making it? How is this? It has to at least boost the competition level within the DB room.
For sure. And with that competitive smack talk that I'm sure happens in the room, man, if I'm Nehemiah Pritchett, I'm giving DJ James all the crap all day about how they picked me first and you second, because they liked me better than you. I'm the best and you're the worst. Like that, I would definitely lean into that.
The cool thing is it sounds like even before they were teammates at Auburn, they actually go back to their friendship goes back to high school because they grew up, I think he said like 45 minutes from one another. So they got to know each other because they were on all-star teams and, they knew of each other. When Pritchett went to Auburn initially, he tried to recruit James there, but James, I think he went to Oregon first and then transferred. If I'm remembering everybody's, if I'm remembering that whole sequence correctly, I think that's how it went. But yeah, it's just kind of a fun little thing that these guys know each other and now they're on the same team together and they're coming from the South.
Yeah. Yeah. It should be a nice upgrade to their living situation, going from the South up to the Pacific Northwest.
Way less humid. That's
way less everything that stinks. Like there's nothing appealing about living down there. I don't get it.
Yeah. And I can't remember which one of them was commenting on the fact that, being on the water, seeing the mountains. I think we heard that from a lot of the guys at the rookie minicamp interviews. They're like, it's really nice here.
Yeah. Cause it's better. It's just better.
Seattle just gets this bad rap for being like, oh, it just rains up in that part of the country all the time. And then I feel like these rookies get here and they're like, wait a second. Where's all this propaganda about this being a terrible place and rainy? Like, it's awesome here.
Maybe that was part of the original locals game plan to try to keep it for themselves. No, it just rains here. It's kind of like, it's just too damn cold in Montana. You don't want to be here. And it's just
cold
too
in the wintertime, forest fires in the summertime. Like it's just,
there's a bunch of bumpkins. There's nothing going on here. Yeah. You don't want to be here.
DJ James, he is going to have an uphill battle, though, to become the best Seahawk to wear number 29. Now,
oh boy,
maybe he can surpass Sir Roderick Thompson, who wore it last.
I still like Sir Roderick. I still feel like he should have been on the roster for more last year.
See, you actually have to make it onto the field, though, to have a chance. But Earl Thomas, obviously, the greatest to wear 29. And that's going to be difficult for DJ.
Yeah. All he has to do is be a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's it. That's all he's got to do.
So go for it. Let's see it.
Yeah, let's see it. I think he's got it.
Well, the one guy who has it locked up for the best draft call. We saved it to the end. He was the final pick. It is offensive tackle Michael Jarrell.
Hey, Michael, John Schneider with the Seattle Seahawks. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. How you doing?
Good, man. You had a great visit. We're getting ready to select you right here at 207, okay?
Oh, shit. For real?
Oh, yeah, for real.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Do it for Michael, y'all.
Yeah,
buddy. Joey. We're excited for you, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm glad to be a part of y'all. Yeah, let's go.
All right. Here, I'm going to give you your head coach, Mike McDonald, okay?
All right.
All right. All right, Michael. You ready, man?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, let's get it going.
You excited?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm excited. Yes, sir.
How's your day been? Pretty long, huh?
It's been going good.
That's
yeah,
good.
Me and my family, we just been sitting here watching the draft.
That's great.
You know, just hoping to see my name called.
Heck yeah, man. You're about to see it. It's coming out soon.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
awesome.
Thank y'all.
Well, we're really excited to get you up here, brother.
Hey, I'm excited to be a part of it.
That's awesome, man. You got a great future. We'll put a lot of good work in. We'll get you rolling, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Hawks, brother.
And see, Michael was prepared. He knew that the family question was probably coming at this point, and he just got it out there right away. Yep, here with my family. That way he doesn't have to be asked that awkward question. And that helped, I think, that conversation move along a little bit better.
Oh, for sure. I was thinking the same thing. He headed off Mike at the pass and just said, yeah, no, my family's here. Can we talk about other things about like, I get to come and play football up in the PNW? Exciting moment for him, I'm sure. Where was he out of? I thought he was playing in a parking lot somewhere. Like, is that where they found him?
What, you can't remember the college that Michael Jarrell went to?
Is it still in business, or is it one of like the millions of these tiny colleges that are folding up right now?
The Findlay Oilers is, right. Obviously where he was the GMAC, the Great Midwest Athletic Conference Lineman of the Year.
They misnamed that athletic conference.
Great Midwest.
Yeah. I can't imagine it was great. Like, I've never heard of it before. How great can it be?
Well, I think it's because it's kind of up near the Great Lakes, and so it's not necessarily a commentary on the greatness of the conference. It's geography.
Fine, but they still should have thought that through.
Okay, we've narrowed it down to the Great Midwest. Do you know where Findlay and the Findlay Oilers call their home?
Oklahoma.
You think of Oklahoma as being in the Midwest?
Is it not like west of the Mississippi and like in the middle of the effing country? And it's the only place I could think of that still is producing some oil in the Midwest.
I think of Oklahoma as practically being south. It's under places like Nebraska and
Oklahoma's more akin to Nebraska than it is like Alabama.
Well, it's like Kansas is over there too.
Sure. I mean, they're the Oilers. Like, that's the only reason that I went with like the most southern of the Midwest states that I could think of, because I don't think of like, I don't know, Iowa as being like full of oil rigs.
Well, I don't think of any of these states as necessarily being oil producing states. You got Tennessee, you got Kentucky, you got West Virginia, Ohio.
Those are Midwest. Kentucky, Tennessee.
These are all the states that are in the Great Midwest.
They totally catfish naming this conference. Like, this makes no sense. And
it's not the Midwest. It's the Great Midwest.
Exactly. Yeah. Kentucky and Tennessee aren't on the Great Lakes, nor are they in the Midwest. Neither. They're legit in the South.
I appreciate all the time that we've done talking about this and the GMAC to try and figure out, so I could do some research and figure out where Findlay is as a school. Yeah. I still don't think it may not exist.
Does it even show up on a Google?
Okay, University of Findlay, 40 miles south of Toledo, Ohio.
Okay.
Isn't that in Kentucky? Where's Toledo? Oh, no, Toledo's closer to Detroit.
That's not the Midwest.
According to the conference, it is. So here we go. It's a small town south of Toledo, in between the triangle of Fort Wayne. Well, I guess it's a square of Detroit, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Columbus, and Cleveland. That's where you find Findlay, is right in the center of those four great Midwest cities.
In the Rust Belt, where there's no oil rigs.
The Findlay Oilers.
Maybe the Oilers. Oh, maybe this is where it comes from. Like in the sawmill, like you have the Oilers or the greasemen that come around during the weekend, and they grease all the little joints and do the thing. Maybe because it's a big manufacturing area, the oilers were the dudes that came in and oiled up all the equipment on the weekend during the downtime and did maintenance.
Maybe Findlay produces the greatest amount of Jiffy Lube employees in the country.
Yes. In fact, it's neck and neck with Grease Monkey employees.
Although I have to say, I have a feeling that Findlay is like a prestigious school, because when I listen to Michael speak, he was either a communications major or he's like a business major, or the dude is the best interview of the entire draft class.
You betcha. He did not have a bunch of you-knows. I can tell you that.
He's got Edwin Bailey to pursue, though, wearing number 65. Of course, a lot of Seahawks fans remember Jermaine Ifedi. Let's hope that he could fall somewhere in between Jermaine Ifedi and Edwin Bailey level.
That would be amazing, because I got tired of saying F and Ifedi. Like that was not fun. But I mean, to be Chris Spencer good would be great. I'd be excited about that.
Yeah, well, that's a name that falls right in between Ifedi and Edwin Bailey.
It all lines up. He's the next Chris Spencer. Book it. He's a 6th-round pick, and he's going to be awesome. Yeah, from the great Midwest Conference that doesn't exist in the Great Lakes or in the Great Lakes, or the Midwest.
It's going to put Findlay on the map.
Well, somebody needs to, because nobody knows where the it is.
It took me 5 minutes of us talking nonsense just to be able to Google it fast enough.
Hey, last pick of the draft, you're going to get some nonsense talk.
Well, that is our Seattle Seahawks draft for 2024. We went through the phone calls. We went through the numbers, Adam, and I'm ready to get to the second half of the show.
Yeah, let's do it. Look at that, man. We managed to make about an hour of content there out of a whole lot of nothing. Look at us.
We did it. Well, Adam, after that first half of the show, I wonder if the folks at the Believe Podcast Network are having second thoughts about, like, these guys just talk nonsense for an hour and like they don't actually break down these draft picks, like break tape, like they comment on the draft calls and that sort of thing. What are we doing here?
Well, I would imagine they'd listen to at least one of our other shows, and if they had, then they'd realize, then yes, that's exactly what we do, and they still wanted us, Brandon, because that's exciting news that you were going to break on everybody here.
Yes, so we are going over to the Believe Podcast Network. Now, it's probably complicated, and maybe we're making it more complicated than it needs to be, but once we brought over a lot of the shows from SB Nation and Field Goals, we're doing 5 shows a week. We're still going to do the 5 shows a week on YouTube. Everything's going to be all in the same place on YouTube. It's just we're going to be splitting up the podcast feed, so that way it's the flagship and the post game on one. And then all of our other shows like 3 In, 3 Out, the PNW Prop Stars, and the What If shows through the Believe Podcast Network.
Right. And maybe that cleans some stuff up for some folks, because, I remember some people having a hard time with the idea that there were so many different shows in one feed and all that. So maybe that helps there. This is the way that we're going to become rich and famous. So really excited about that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is too complicated. We're just going to try it, see how it goes, and go for there.
This is one 10, 11, 12-year long experiment that we're just working on changing things up. And we get to be a part of another network. And there's a lot of cool I mean, if anybody listened to interviews that I've had of other teams throughout the past, 2 years, I'd say 80 to 90% of those guys are on the Believe network. So it made a ton of sense for me that we go ahead and join those folks over there. And then when I'm actually interviewing those guys, it's all within their own network.
There you go. And, it might add to the number of guests that we have and things like that. Some new opportunities there. I mean, shoot, Brandon, I had an idea for a second half of the show topic here during the break. And, maybe one of these Believe dudes would have a better answer than maybe either of us do. But any big impressions from rookie minicamp here over the last couple of days.
Rookie mini camp impressions. I followed the interviews, and just because I try and get a sense of the individual players. No, not a lot of takeaways from rookie mini camp. No,
it feels like this year there's just not a lot of talk like there had been during the Pete Carroll era. Like, I mean, shoot, just thinking back all the way to Russ, right? Like right out of the gate from rookie minicamp, you were hearing stuff. And, it felt like every year there was like one dude that was, just that little bit different, or, Coach Carroll will be hyping up in his pressers or whatever it was. But Coach Mike, not having really none of that. Basically when asked about all of them being like, yeah, we're here, and, we're not putting in a bunch, and so they're learning. So that's good. And Byron Murphy's out of shape. Like that's basically it.
I felt like we got a little bit of Byron Murphy hype out of Coach Mike.
Boy, if you call that hype, man, I don't know what to tell you. If my hype man talked about me like that, like my legitimate hype man, be like, dude, I got to upgrade.
Well, what did he say that you commenting on his shape?
Well, okay, if Mike McDonald was my just middle of the road man, just being like, yeah, I mean, he's here and just kind of the realist, my realist man, then sure. Yeah, he could do that, but not as my hype man.
That's true. No, I feel like the bigger commentary coming out of rookie minicamp was, the music. It's different because it's not loud.
Oh, my stars. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
Oh, no, we suck again. The music is just quiet.
And I think we heard from Coach Mike is that maybe it'll change, but they need it to be, I guess he wants it to be balanced so that way they can talk.
Yeah. So what's really weird is, so we went from the oldest coach in the league to the youngest, right? And usually when you're one of the older dudes at the bar, you're just pissed that the music is so loud, like me, that you can't actually talk to anybody and have a decent time. And the younger dude is, woo, and turning it up. And here we have the opposite. Like, is Mike McDonald like really the complete opposite of Pete Carroll? Is he a 65-year-old trapped in a 36-year-old's body? And
turn the music down. I'm trying to talk to these guys. I'm trying to coach.
There's too much fun being had. We're trying to get some business done here.
So that was at least my rookie minicamp takeaway.
Yeah. Hey, not a lot that is being leaked or just anything like that. Just kind of like, yep, guys are here. They got helmets and pads and numbers that they went out on the field. So,
and he's trying to figure it out. I mean, that's the thing that I take away more of this than anything, is that he's figuring out through this time how he's going to run a practice. And it's probably a good thing just to start off with the dudes who haven't been here, don't know what it's like. And this is their intro to the NFL. And he's trying to figure out how he wants to run his practices.
I will say that some of Mike's comments about, we're trying to figure it out. We'll just adjust, this, that, the other thing kind of make me a little nervous. Cause I remember when Pete came in and talking about his philosophy and the vision and how he had to fail with the Jets and the Patriots and then go to USC to develop that philosophy and really flush it out and have it be a cohesive, singular thing that he knew exactly how he was going to do stuff and all that. It feels like Mike's kind of doing a little bit more on the fly. And it's like, ooh, like that's how I operate, but I'm also not head coaching candidate material, right? Like it made me just a tiny bit nervous.
Well, this is the thing that made me nervous about getting a first-time head coach in the first place, is that there are all these little things that you're doing for the first time. And it's like anything. Gosh, I think back to times where I've gone into new jobs where I'm doing something completely different. And I don't feel like I have a handle on even just the basics for about 6 months, and then not really even comfortable until, 2 years in.
Yeah, depending on the job, right? And there's going to be a lot of learning on the fly for this coaching staff with all the, fresh faces new to their position. But I think I figured it out. You know why the music is quiet, Brandon?
Why is that?
Old man Frazier came down and said he can't knock that shit off.
That's it. That's who to blame as the assistant head coach.
Yeah.
He's turning the music down.
Right. And then I remember that Leslie Frazier's there and he's got a lot of experience and he's going to help Mike get through some of these little things. And I start to feel a little bit better.
It's a good point. And that's, I think, why we advocated for a guy like that. If you're going to hire a first-time head coach, you either bring in a coordinator who has that experience, or in this case, assistant head coach who has that head coaching experience that can help.
Or you do both. Maybe you bring in a coordinator that has a ton of experience instead of, I don't know, never done it at that level and runs a pass-happy offense in college. Maybe you do that. I mean, it's just a suggestion if I had been in the room.
If we're throwing all of our worries out on the table, that one's probably going to be a consistent one going through the offseason until we actually get to see the offense too.
Heck yeah.
Well, speaking of people who aren't at quite the talent level that you might expect from one league to another, Austin Rivers, known for playing basketball, known for being the son of famous basketball player Doc Rivers. He was on the Pat McAfee show here this week, and he had an interesting quote. Wanted to throw it out to you, Adam. He said, "I could take 30 players right now in the NBA and throw them in the NFL. You cannot take 30 NFL players and put them in the NBA." As a basketball aficionado, is Austin Rivers correct?
I'm more of a casual fan, but with that said, I guess it depends on what he means by that. Like taking 30 NBA players and have them be at the end of a roster. Maybe they could. I could see it, I guess. I mean, is he taking 30 NBA players and they'd be starters or, part-time starters or something like that? Catfish! No, there's no way. Have you watched that league over the past 10 years? It's so damn soft. Like, there's no way they could deal with the physicality of the NFL right there. And then secondly, the idea that, like, I could take 30 wide receivers and tight ends right now, and they could probably survive on the back end of an NBA roster. Like, there's a lot of dudes with talent. I think he's wrong on this one.
I think of even guys on the Seahawks that are known for being able to shoot hoops, like Tyler Lockett. Yeah, he's on the shorter side. Like, he's probably going to get rejected by a majority of basketball players, but I think he could probably at least juke some guys and make some shots. Like, I feel like he could compete. Whereas, where are you going to put these basketball players at position wise for one? In terms of their size, I feel like you're kind of locked into wide receiver.
No, wide receiver, tight end.
Yeah. Maybe offensive line if they're a big man, but
yeah, that doesn't exist in today's league anymore. You got to have a guy that can step back and hit
You're
threes.
telling me Zion Williamson wouldn't be a tackle at the NFL level?
Hell no. Absolutely not. That dude is always injured and fine. Like he's tough in the NBA. He's big in the NBA, but it's just a whole different thing. And then I think maybe what Austin's trying to get to is that he's trying to say that the skill level just in terms of, ball handling and shooting and passing and all that, like they put more time into that possibly or that's harder to pick up. And it's a little more diverse than, say, being a receiver. But I think he would be shocked to find out what goes into being a productive receiver in the NFL or a productive tight end and what it takes to get your body ready week in and week out. These guys sit and take maintenance days, okay, and don't even play for a third of their games. Get out of here. Austin Rivers is dead ass wrong.
Well, that's what I was thinking too. Like, are you going to be able to find a dude to play quarterback? Are you going to find dudes who can really, in terms of technical positions, I think of offensive line and defensive line and all the things that they have to do and the physicality there. That's I mean, sure,
there's
you
not
could.
One lineman in the league right now. Not one. I can tell you that for sure.
No.
Because usually the big dudes are really tall. You can't be 6'10" and play in the trenches. You can't do it. Like you won't have the leverage. You're going to get just rooted out by the Byron Murphys of the world and the Aaron Donalds of the world.
It also got me thinking of like hilarious sports that you could throw NBA or NFL players into just to see how bad they are.
Yeah.
Of all the sports, I would think neither NFL nor NBA could hit Major League Baseball pitching.
Oh, God, no.
Watching them try and play professional golf, impossible.
That was the one that came to my mind. Now, I know that they're like the quarterbacks and kickers are all great golfers. Like, that's kind of a thing. I know that a lot of the guards, like Steph Curry's a hell of a golfer.
Sure.
But as a whole, like watching some swing man, who's 6'9", like Jaylen Brown, like watching him play golf, like there's no way. It looked like an unfolding lawn chair.
And then to take these guys and put them on ice skates, I would pay to watch that.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
Give them a hockey stick, put them on ice skates, and let's see these dudes play.
You know what? I bet you could take 30 NHLers and plop them into the league and have more success than 30 NBAers and plop them into the league.
I would actually give hockey players a chance to do all the sports that we've talked about now the best shot. Because I think that they would have the best shot at hitting Major League pitching.
Yeah, actually.
Golf, obvious connection.
Sure. Yeah, they're not even playing on slippery stuff in golf. Like, they get cleats.
Yeah. And then you shoot a basket or play physical interior offensive line some of the skill stuff in football I'd still have a little bit of a question on. But
if it was 90s NBA, I bet you the NHL guys, like, every one of them would be the Oakley of their team, right? Like, you just take whoever the goon was on the NHL team and throw them in there at power forward and just lay people out who dare touch the paint. It'd be awesome.
I want to see Dennis Rodman play hockey. If we're talking 90s basketball.
That'd have been interesting. Do you think, because they all have to wear the helmets now, so you wouldn't get to see his hair colors, so that'd be a bummer.
Yeah, that wouldn't be.
Maybe he could dye his helmet.
Maybe he could play goalie and have one of those really elaborate face masks.
I think Rodman would be an intimidating goalie, right? He'd just be kind of a scary dude. Like, he's a scary dude to begin with. Like, you never know what he's going to do. And then you throw him in the whole the goalie outfit, because the goalie mask is terrifying.
Kids have no idea who we're talking about with Dennis Rodman right now.
Oh, don't worry about it, kids. He's our ambassador to North Korea.
That's how he's known now.
Yeah.
Well, our executive producers on this show are well known. We've got DCH, we've got Brian Shaw, Garen Taylor, and Has No Clue. We're also going to be welcoming some members of the flock, some people who are giving us raises. We've got Corey Kuhlman, who converted over to annual support at getintheflock.com. So, yeah, going from the monthly to the annual. So thanks to Corey.
Heck yeah, man. Corey's been with us for a hell of a long time. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Corey's probably made his money back within the Pick'em League. I feel like he does well every year.
Oh, yeah, he's a fantastic cheater.
We've got 12th Man Dan UK, who came in at £3 a month. So welcome to the flock to 12th Man Dan.
Hell yeah. 12th Man Dan is the man. No doubt about it. Thank you, buddy.
And we've got Kevin Dietrich going from $12.74 a month to the $145.44 annual. Says, I'm not all that interested in the season between the Super Bowl and OTAs other than hearing the outcome of the draft and switch over to NHL during that time. However, I just upgraded to an annual membership to make sure you're there when I pick you back up on the other side. Go Hawks, from Kevin.
I appreciate that, Kevin. Totally understand. It's difficult for me personally to get through that section of the season as well, but we're here for you guys. And for all of you that get really fired up about this offseason stuff, we're trying.
We're trying. We'll have the schedule to talk about here pretty soon. That got announced this week.
There's going to be teams that they play on weeks.
We'll know the order. And I thought of an analogy to this.
Yeah.
Knowing the schedule is like setting up the dominoes, like when you were a kid, and because nobody as a kid actually played the game of dominoes, I didn't even find out that dominoes was like an actual game. I just thought that you set them up to knock over in a row. Like that's what they were for.
You grew up in a very white culture, Brandon, me and you both.
Right. Yeah. You and me both. Like that's what I thought they were for. And now we get the schedule is like stacking the dominoes and lining them all up because you didn't know what order they were supposed to go in.
No, but I do not feel like the schedule is like a V for Vendetta domino moment where you can see the future once they all like collapse there. No, definitely not.
We've got Axel Bergstrom in at $3 a month. Welcome to the flock to Axel.
Hey, what up, man? Appreciate it.
And Jason Turner, $145.44 going to the annual donation. Thanks to Jason.
Heck yeah, Jason. And appreciate you jumping in and commenting on all the videos that you do. Appreciate it a ton.
Yeah. And we're going to thank all of the $12 members and above at the end of the show. It's been a while since we've gotten to thank all of our members. We try and do it on a monthly basis unless we go a month without doing a flagship show.
Right. And hopefully we're making it up with all the other ones. So we'll see.
All right. Well, if anybody wants to shoot us an email as we get into the off season, go Hawks at Seahawkerspodcast.com. And if you want to become a member of the flock, getintheflock.com. A big thanks to all of our members. And like I said, we're going to be thanking them at the end. We also want to thank our Pick'em League players. I send out, if you won a week during the 2022 season, you should have an email. I know 2022 is going way back in the Wayback Machine, but we're closing out the prizes. So if you didn't get my email me, gohawks at Seahawkerspodcast.com. If you think you won a week, then we'll get that squared away. I do have it, everybody well accounted for, but yeah, everybody should have an email now. And then I'm going to move on to 2023 here starting in a week or two.
You're doing great, man. If anybody's bummed out that it's taken as long as it is, it's all Brittany's fault because she put the kibosh on us, getting us a little hottie intern. So
there you go. So, well, I might just make it harder for Brittany and just say everybody from the 2023 Pick'em League gets $25 credit to Montana Gulch Works.
There we go. Yeah, that'd be great. I can't wait to make a bunch of free stuff. Thanks, man.
You put Brittany to work this way, and that way she realizes that maybe she should have gone with the intern route.
She'd get overwhelmed, and you're right. Maybe this is the way that we get our intern here. Yeah,
on to do better and better at life.
All right, man. My do better this week is for John Bueller of Fansided. He wrote this article the other day, and it was entitled "A Steelers Seahawks trade to reunite Russell Wilson with elite wide receiver one."
Oh my gosh.
This isn't just against John. This is against all the media that so badly wants us to trade DK Metcalf away to somewhere that they care about covering. Will you stop it? He's ours. We like him. He's damn good. We're not trading away our best freaking receiver. You stop it. Leave DK alone. DK is a Seahawk. Live with it. And no, he does not want to go play with Russ again when he has Geno now. Like, no, there's nobody in the world right now that would take Russell Wilson over Geno Smith as their quarterback. Nobody. Like, if you called up Mike Tomlin tomorrow and was like, "Hey, man, you want to trade Russ back? We'll flip you Geno." He'd be like, yes, we can do that right now. Like, is Geno on a plane already? So for all these media members that keep trying to take DK Metcalf away from our fan base, do better.
I feel like I hear some of that from within our own fan base sometimes too.
Yeah, I know, because they get stoked by these guys.
Yes. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because now that Tyler Lockett restructured his contract, we get the reprieve of the Tyler Lockett trade rumors. And so they've just moved on to DK.
Look, from a team building financial side of things, trading Tyler makes a hell of a lot more sense than trading DK. Both are terrible fucking ideas. Like, we're not doing it. Okay.
It's not going to happen. Anybody out there, stop it.
Stop it.
Rohan with NinersNation.com needs to stop writing articles. He wrote one here recently titled, "Why the 49ers Hit a Home Run Signing Josh Dobbs as their backup quarterback." And Rohan goes into this article and he lists a group of quarterbacks that includes Tyrod Taylor, Marcus Mariota, Mitchell Trubisky, Drew Lock, Jimmy G, Jameis Winston, Mason Rudolph, and Easton Stick, and says, of all these options, Dobbs is the cheapest one. Yeah, Rohan, you only listed backup quarterbacks who are making more than Josh Dobbs. Of course he's the cheapest if you leave off all the ones making less. And as far as the title of your article goes, hitting a home run signing, a home run signing Josh Dobbs as a backup quarterback. Is there such a thing as a home run signing for your backup quarterback? The 49ers are so bad at winning Super Bowls that Rohan has resorted to hyping up backup quarterback signings and trying to sell them to the 49ers fan base as a home run. Rohan, do better.
Rohan's really screwed up here. I mean, at least he didn't call it a grand slam, because, I mean, that'd be better than a home run.
There's maybe a guy or two on base.
Like, I'm into the Pasternaut. I like Josh Dobbs. I think he's a heck of a backup, you bet. But where he really whiffed here is the home run for the 49ers at QB is Tanner Mordecai. Like, I mean, obviously. Like, that's the grand slam here. Former SMU Wisconsin Badger. Like, yeah, that's the guy.
Are we not convinced that Brandon Allen might be the second best quarterback on this team's roster?
I like Brandon Allen. I like Brandon Allen
too.
In the draft. But he's no Tanner Mordecai. Like, let's get that straight.
Well, and he's like so certain because they're paying.
Who makes more, Josh Dobbs or Brock Purdy?
That's a good question. It's probably Josh Dobbs.
Yeah,
but it doesn't mean that. I don't think we rank who's going to be the best at any position based on the amount of money they make. Because if Brandon Allen makes less, Rohan's trying to make the point that Dobbs is a lock to be the backup quarterback because he makes he has a $2.25 million deal that's fully guaranteed at signing.
Yeah, I don't think that Josh Dobbs has been guaranteed anything in his entire NFL career. The guy has bounced around the league so much that, like, nobody wants to keep him for longer than a cup of coffee. So, I mean, Brandon Allen's been there for a couple years now.
Right.
Brandon Allen's fine. That's a fine backup. I'd be fine with Brandon Allen as my backup.
I don't get it, but it's the off season and Rohan has Niners Nation articles to write. There you go.
Hey man, we're all trying. It's that time of year. I'll give Rohan a little bit of a pass there, but man, just understand the room here. I mean, Tanner Mordecai,
home run,
grand slam.
Pass up the home run when you could have the grand slam in Mordecai.
Absolutely, his picture's great too.
On to Better at Life.
All right, man. My better at life than Skip Bayless for this episode is going to be for the John Schneider. Look, he's had to navigate a ton of stuff this offseason and coming up through this draft, from, getting the new coaches in and getting everything aligned and doing everything that he's been doing. And then having to answer all of the questions about him being the guy now and him just really taking the reins and all that. And he's really done it pretty seamlessly. I think he had a home run of a draft.
Grand slam, maybe.
I've never been happier. Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely better than a double at the very least. And I think that John's done an excellent job throughout this process in helping to guide the organization through another big set of changes, like he helped do when Russ left. Now he's doing it with Pete leaving, and having him being the captain of our ship. Captain, my captain. I love this guy. John Schneider, better at life than Skip Bayless.
You know who else is better at life? It is our group of listeners, our members of the flock who have stuck with us over these 12, what are we at? 12, 13 years going into some crazy amount. No, I think we're going into 11 years, right? It's been so long, I'm losing track, and I start to look at milestones more than actual years. because up to this point, this show, Adam, will count as the 1200th post within our podcast feed since we started back in August of 2013. So for everyone listening, for all of our members of the flock sticking with us for all these years, you are better at life than Skip Bayless.
Brendan, when we started this in the kitchen of my single wide trailer back in the day, did you ever think we'd get to 1,200 posts on the feed?
Not at all, because it's not actual episodes, but you think about doing the interviews, and sometimes we break out interviews for the shows to make posts. It's just much like how I noticed my odometer just hitting 20,000 miles on the car. Like when you start to see a number and it kind of hits you, because you're not always looking at your odometer when it hits like a milestone number. But when you go into the podcast dashboard and you look at the fact that we're sitting on 1199, it's like, oh, here we go. The next one, we're rolling it over.
It's amazing. And you're 100% right. We could have never done it without all of you little flockers. You guys have been great, and the support really has been amazing. And we just can't put into words how much we appreciate you guys, but yet we're going to try to right now. That's what we're doing.
We're trying, we're doing it. And I don't know, how about we throw it out there? Let's thank our $12 supporters and above, much like we try and do every month. And we can start by thanking the people and hearing from those people themselves.
Thank you for joining the flock. We talk Seahawks around the clock. Your blood bleeds blue. You're a 12 and a friend of the pod.
Keith Kedover, a.k.a. Flocktimus Prime, University of Cybertron, Little Flockers, roll out.
DCH from Sparks, Nevada, the University of Montana Grizzlies.
Eric Trench, rooting for the Seahawks out of Renton, Washington, graduated from Eastern Washington University.
Jameson Holman from Murray, Utah, representing Mississippi State University. Hail State and go Hawks.
Gary Blum from Chappaqua, New York, and the University of Pennsylvania, your 2016 Pick'em League champion.
Ron Pepper, UNLV Runnin' Rebels, San Francisco, California.
This is Hawk Van Dyke from the beautiful city of London and the capital of the UK.
Lisa in Seattle.
Samuel Gelber, NoHo, California.
David Van Cleve, Camas, Washington, home of the Papermakers.
Leo Jesse, Luleå, Sweden, from Luleå Eskimos and Rennes-Colmar, France.
Paul from San Diego.
Aaron Fisher, coming in from Henderson, Nevada. Go Hawks!
Chris Boucher, a.k.a. the biggest little flocker, South Central Louisiana State University. Go Mud Dogs.
Hey Seahawkers, my name is Garen Taylor. I live in one of the most beautiful places in the world, North Idaho. Hashtag on the roads. Go Hawks.
You heard from executive producers DCH and Garen Taylor. Also, thanks for being a friend to Brian Shaw and Has No Clue. And we continue on down the list of our supporters at $12 and above, starting with Becca in Manhattan Beach, Christina in Manassas, Virginia, Craig in Camas, Jeremiah in the Bronx, Sven in Berlin, Deutschland, Jonathan in Ridgefield, Tim in Austin, Jake in Seattle, Kevin in Great Glen, England, Brandon in Huntersville, North Carolina, Kevin in Surrey, BC, James in Beaux Arts, Pepper in Greenville, South Carolina, JC in Horsford, England, Tim in Olympia, Brian in Berlin, Connecticut, Connie in Gothenburg, Sweden, Tracy in Kaneohe, Hawaii, Marvin in Riverdale, Utah, Jeffrey in Kansas City, John W. in New York, Patrick in Sacramento, Bryson in Eltopia, Jeremy in Federal Way, Glenn in Ocoee, Florida, Josh in Candor, New York, Brian in Omak, Ken in Hutto, Texas, Jeff in Bainbridge Island, Mario in Seattle, Dr. G in League City, Texas, Cora in Ditters, Deutschland, Anders in Vila, Denmark, Warren in Dundee, Oregon, Chris in Austin, Richard in Killeen, Texas, Amy in Squim, Joseph in Vancouver, Joshua in the Greater Hawkdom, Norma in the Greater Hawkdom, Rafe in Beaverton, Oregon, Ryan in Salt Lake City, Bridget in Redmond, Marlon in the Greater Hoctum, Jason in Panama City, Florida, Jamie in Oswestry, England, DJ in Menifee, California, BB in the Greater Hoctum, Eugene in Henderson, Nevada, Terrence in Dallas, Spooty Poo in Olympia, Alexander in Oranienburg, Deutschland, Kayla in Vancouver, Tanner in Kalispell, Montana, Ryan in Fairbanks, Gordon in Valdez, Alaska, Jeff in Gilbert, Arizona, Ovary Smasher 69 in Phoenix, Sean in Cascade, Iowa via Kalispell, Montana, Daniel C. in the Greater Hoctum, RJ in Kellogg, Idaho, Jason in Portland, Oliver in Fort St. John, BC, Ian in Seattle, B-Walls 22 in New York, Jay in Fairbanks, Russell in Harpenden, England, Sam in Alamonte Springs, Florida, Chris in Manchester, England, Logan in Evansville, Indiana, Charles in Bremerton, Corey in Robertson, Australia, Mike in Kelowna, BC, Edward in the Greater Hoctum, Ken in Stanwood, Stu in Navarre, Florida, Nathan in Fife, Marty in Melbourne, Greg in Lake City, Colorado, RJ in Bucyrus, Kansas, The Poetrist in Boise, Chris in Fort Wayne, Indiana, Randy in Silverton, Oregon, John in Waco, Nebraska, Martin in Ferrum, Denmark, and Jeremiah in the Greater Hoctum.
Thank you for joining the flock.
So there you have it. A big thanks to all of our $12 supporters and above. If you want to become a member of that group, you can go to getintheflock.com. And if you've been supporting us and you want to have your voice heard as part of that rundown, shoot me an email. GoHawks@SeahawkersPodcast.com.
Heck yeah, man. All those people, they're not just home runs. They're not just grand slams, Brandon. They are walk-off grand slams. Love y'all.
And I think with that,
there's only one thing left to say.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Did the Mariners hit a grand slam just while we were talking?
I don't know, but if they did, that'd be amazing. And you're leaving this in.
It was 6-6 going into the ninth inning, and now it's 10-6. Now I have to know. What happened.
How they scored?
How did they score? They scored 4 runs in the top of the ninth. Not a grand slam. Singles, sacrifice flies, score on a wild pitch.
Lots of bullshit. Thanks a lot, Mariners. That was almost awesome.
Almost awesome. Just like this show.